Ay, 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 ay. It's a Monday, Monday, Monday. Monday, Monday. La, 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 la. Greetings to one and all. I hope you all had a splendid, splendocious weekend. Oh, Lordy, I hope you had a great weekend, everyone. Can you imagine the month is ending by tomorrow? I told Mr. Hines this evening to say, God willing, that we'll be able to see the dawn of the new day and the last year in the month of January. And so in everything we do, all our experiences, good or bad, we're still here today and we must say thank you, Lord. A lot of times we only say thank you when something good has happened, like we said the Our Father prayer, and we go down and with me and we say, Lord, if you come through for me, I will do this and I will do that. And once it happens, that little thing called self just take over man, and we just feel as though we accomplished it all on our own, but we did not. And you know what I'm always amazed by? And I said, thank you, Lord. The agnostics, the pessimists, all those people who they are still trying to figure out where we come from, how we were born, where does, air come from, how we breathe. But still, can I tell you, if there is some kind of adversity that they face, all of a sudden, if it's an instant accident, somebody dies, a pin stick you, something happen, what do we say first? Instinctively. We say, dear God, or please help me, God, or Jesus Christ. That simply means that in our human psyche, how we are created, there is this innate acknowledgement, though we may not want to declare it, that is there, that you can't help yourself but to say the word when fear grip you. Think about it. Mr. Hines is giving me an applause. But it is true. So that's just my word for you this evening. Think about it. What is it that causes you to declare a name that the very same name you oppose because we can't see him? How come we cannot serve somebody who we can't see? You stay there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. That's my thought for this evening. I'm Lady D, Denise Gomez. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is Monday, the start of the work week for many of us. And if you had started working over the weekend and you're doing the 10 to 6, 10 to 6, 6 to 2, what have you. Well, guess what? When you get off, you go home, you sleep. I don't know, you're sleeping in a mattress box, a box. It has a covering over your head. So be thankful. Welcome to the show, Inside the Zone, the community platform where information is guaranteed. Let me say hi to my YouTubers. Let me wave. Let me fix my hair. You all can see my face properly now? Yeah, you see the hair? Mr. Hines is laughing. Oh, good evening, everyone. So I changed my spectacles. I'm sporting a new spectacles. And I wear a very heavy prescription. You perhaps don't know it. But there's something called the high index lens. So if you're in the -5 and going up like me, they give you high index so that you don't look like you used to look. I have a friend who used to call me goggles one time, because at that time, technology had not advanced, so you weren't having the high index lenses, you didn't have plastic lens and all them something. So the first pair I got, oh my God, they never stopped teasing me. The lens thick like my grandmother owned. But as the years progressed, they still said to me, what happened to the thick lens? I'm like, aha. Right, Mr. Hanks? So it is Monday, 5:22 p.m. Good evening to you. Of course, the show is being broadcast on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, www.caribbeanvibesradio.com. Good evening to Chris Welby. And Chris celebrated his birthday yesterday. And I sang happy birthday for Chris. And he's, yeah. Y'all don't know, I have skills. I can sing. So I sang for Chris yesterday. So happy birthday again, Chris Welby. I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's program. Inside the Zone is a culture-centric radio program that connects the Jamaican diaspora and international audiences globally. The show's content captures its people's social, cultural, and collective views on issues that affect their communities. Family, health, finance, education, immigration, housing, wealth management, real estate, life and health insurance, and food insecurity on Monday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Here on Linkage Radio, your budding and buzzing station, 24/7, 365 days for the year. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling like you belong once again. Yes. I know you missed us due to certain technical challenges, but we're there. Welcome to the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. The show is brought to you by Cooler Runnings in my space. Cooler Runnings, Jamaican restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Have you stopped by lately? When you walk in, say, Lady D, send me. Place your call, 718-324-7484. Coming up next, of course, it's the fifth Monday feature of the show. Another edition of Inside the Zone. The Monday beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here with great music. Guess what? It's R&B Music Monday. It's the fifth Monday. So I usually bring you some nice soft tune, soft music just for you, taking you back in time and so much more. And that will be followed by what's inside the zone. Let's refresh our minds. Take a walk with me now down to Bath Mineral Spa and Milk River Spa. Like Mr. Hines, he can just take off his socks and put his foot in the water, and just flip, So we're going to be talking about the spas. And at 6 p.m., keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts. And then we wrap the show up this evening with Voices, the intellectual voice that has everyone talking. Ladies, scammers are on the loose. Deception is at an all-time high. So I'll be sharing a clip for you very briefly. And if possible, we'll have a conversation about scamming. Seniors, pay attention. And, it came to me, and it's not the first I'm dealing with scamming on this show. But after having a brief conversation with a senior who I love, and she mentioned something to me, and I said, be careful. It dawned on me, that the scammers, if they make contact with you, whether it's on social media, via your telephone, they so happen to just find your number and call you. And they'll even tell you they're Tom, Dick, and Harry and his cousins. And then before you know it, you're realizing, but something off here. And they won't stop call you. Be careful. Be careful. Wolf in sheep clothing. Be careful. 26 minutes after 5 o'clock. That's the lineup for the show. So ladies, watch your back. I'm ready to dance and take you through some nice love selections. Mr. Hines is looking. Taking you through some nice love selections on a Monday. It's R&B Music Monday right here on the show Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. And again, it's on my birth certificate. So don't worry. You pull up the birth certificate. It is right there with Denise A. Gomez. Yes, and I love my name. At first, I thought I should have been named Victoria because I look like my dad and his name is Victor. But then Denise is fine. I mean, I've had it for a while, though. It's nice. So good evening, everyone. 27 past 5 o'clock. I had a good day. Working hard, but I had a good day. And the weekend was fine. How was yours? Hello, everyone. Are you ready? This is how we start off the show.
Myself just to see if I'm awake or not. It's real. What I feel, could it be you and me till the end of time? Take my heart, hold it tight. It's your love. You know I got to be. Oh, baby, I gotta be the one you love. Be the one you feel, and I gotta be the one to feel life is sunshine. I gotta be the one you know, 'cause I will always love you so. I gotta be the one you need. I'm just telling you that gotta be. I picture you and me starting a take this vow to love one another, make this thing a reality. Is it real? What I feel, could be you and me till the end of time. Take my heart, hold it tight. It's your love. I just got to be. I'll be the one you touch, babe. I'll be the one you love. I gotta be the one you feel. Oh, yeah. I gotta be the one to feel like it's sunshine. I gotta be the one, 'cause I will always love you. I'll be the one you love. I'll be the one you love. I gotta be the one you need. I'm just telling you that gotta be. Don't ever wanna think about you leaving my life. Don't you ever go nowhere. You make me right. Baby, you're right here in my life. You make me whole. You make me right. Baby, don't ever wanna think about you leaving my life. You make me whole. You make me
All your friends are telling you you should have a fancy car and diamond ring. But girl, you know all good things come in time. Girl, you know I do just about anything to see you smile on your face. Don't let your friends go messing with your mind. Girl, you know there ain't nothing I won't special kind. Man, that is hard to find. Told you 1,000 times, baby, hold on to me. Oh, baby, hold on to me. See, I'm a special kind. Man, that is hard to find. Told you 1,000 times, baby, hold on to me. Baby, hold on. Oh, girl, wasn't I there when he made you cry? And who was there to comfort you when he said bye, 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 baby? Girl, I give you my time. Here is my money, all of my heart. You'll be so sorry, baby, if we were to ever part. And girl, you know that I would never hurt you. Oh, girl, you know that I won't ever desert you. Oh, baby, I'm a special kind. I'm a special kind. Oh, to find. Baby, you better. See, I'm a special kind. You know I love that is hard to find. Hold on, my baby, see, I wanna be everything that you need. And I promise, baby, I'll be there for you. Oh, hold on. See, I'm a special oh, baby, baby. Baby, hold on. Hold on. See, late at night, when you need someone to hold you tight, you're gonna look for me. You're gonna look for me. So you better. See, I like it. I'm a special kind. I want it. Oh, baby. Hold on to me. You better. Hold on. Think about it before you let me walk out the door, babe. How will you live without me, baby? If I can't see myself living without you. Hold on. Everything. Understand you ever need. I'm giving it to you, baby. Hold on to me. Keep me around. Keep me around. Baby. I know I'm a good man. And your friends keep telling you. I'm not. They don't know. Listen to what I say when I tell you that I'll never hurt you, baby. I'll never leave.
Ah, yes, the Monday beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here with great music on a Monday afternoon. Did you enjoy that? I'm sure you did. I just featured Jagged Edges, I Gotta Be, and Gerald and Eddie Levert, Baby Hold On To Me. Of course, I have one more, but I'm going to save that for later on. Good evening. It's 5:36 p.m. Inside of the Zone with yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez. I see our bewildered girl is in the house. Lordy. I see our bewildered girl is here with us this evening. I'm so happy to see you. Good evening. Welcome To my YouTubers, how are you? What would I do without you? And to my listeners on 104.5, 101.7, I hope you're all hearing me this evening. It's the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city. You walk, drive, and reside. Don't forget the telephone number is 914-600-4228, 914-600-4. I'm sorry about that. 4228. Well, as you know, I do my Jamaican features, and therefore I do have a feature for you this evening. I'm taking you to the spa. When was the last time you ached so badly you felt as though, oh my gosh, if my knee hurt me one more time, or pain in the back and the hips and the this and the that. I mean, I see people in so much pain. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God. You know, there are some challenges with getting older. It comes with that. Arthritic pains or some, side effects from something, a medication, what have you. Or sometimes your bones are just not strong enough. But I was raised in Jamaica, so are many of you, and across the Caribbean. And we've heard of our natural spas. You know, nobody didn't have to pour anything into our water. Nobody didn't have to pour in any hot water. It's just natural like that. Yes. So how about taking a trip with me to the spa this evening? I just want you to close your eyes and picture, as I read for you with such expressions that you'll want to say, Lord, Lady D, what you doing to me, what you doing to me. But come with me, man. Let's go to the spa.
It's a land of special people, a place where champions grow, a magical vibe, so much more than you will ever know. You can't ignore the music, reggae so profound, and when it comes to the track, you know that Jamaica won't back down.
We're more than just an island in the sun.
A great nation, Bob Marley said,
Welcome everyone to Jamaica, sweet Jamaica.
come experience the culture.
We do it like no other.
Jamaica.
Yeah, we do it like none other. Only us do certain things, everybody else just copy taking, Yeah, but welcome everyone. I'm taking you to the spa with me this evening. Wouldn't you like to come along? Of course. If you're joining me for the first time, I'd like to welcome you. If you happen to just buck up here, never mind, your toe will get better soon. But it's a good buck up. So just put a Band-Aid around it, no? With some gauze. Remember iodine? Yes, or mercurochrome? That will help you. Welcome everyone. Taking you to Bath Mineral Spa. You promised me you're going to close your eyes and just picture the bath fountain, water, Yeah. You've been to St. Thomas, haven't you? And Chris Wilby's from St. Thomas, by the way. Yes, he is. So let me share some scoop about the spas for you. In the parish of St. Thomas, the mineral spa or spring in the parish of St. Thomas was discovered by a runaway slave in the 1690s when he discovered that the water of the mineral spring had healed the wounds that had plagued him for years. He decided to brave the wrath of his master to tell him the good news. The mineral spring at Bath flows from two rocks, which produces both cold and hot water. The water is mixed before it enters the bath houses, which are built for guests. The water in the spring is not mixed, and so it is very hot. The spring is rich in sulfur and lime, and is believed to be very good for the treatment of rheumatic ailments and skin diseases. So that's the Bath Mineral Spa. I have been. Have you ever been? You don't know what you're missing. When you take a trip next to Jamaica, drive over to St. Thomas, won't you? Milk River. Yes, I was raised in Clarendon. Left Kingston, went to Clarendon. And so I also lived in Tollgate at one point. And we would drive over to the Milk River Bath as we know it. It's in the parish of Clarendon, Jamaica, West Indies. Milk River Bath is another of Jamaica's great spas. Radioactivity of the water is many times greater than many of the world's famous spas. And I'm going to share some stats with you just in case you didn't know. The relative radioactivity of the water has been found to be 9 times as active as Bath in England, 50 times as active as Vichy in France, 5 times as active as Carlsbad in Austria, 54 times as active as Basten in Switzerland. Did you know all of that? The spa is located about 10 miles south of Maypen in Clarendon and is open to the public. When was the last time you took a trip to Yard and you went and you just sat as the water just flowed over on you, or you lay down in the bath? You float and you float till you couldn't float no more. And when you came out, you're like, but I don't feel no pain. All the pain gone. Where the pain there? Yes, it worked. Take a trip to Jamaica, won't you? I know you like to go to the resorts and so on. And yes, you can stay at a resort all you like, but they won't have that. They're not going to have the spa experience. I encourage you to take a trip. Won't you? Of course. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Good evening to Sherns. Good evening to Aldith. King Ryan in the house. Welcome. DJ D. Roy of GL365 Radio and Web TV. I look nice on TV, don't I? Yeah. Good evening to Vero. And I'm looking for, I don't see Pat. I guess she's busy this evening. But nevertheless, let me take you to Yard.
Oh, you wanna get on down and feel the real Jamaican vibe. And you know we Jamaican people, we do it in a different style. We take it on the mountains high, way across the river. On top of the world, we're more than just an island in the sun. A great nation, beat our tongues, say welcome everyone to Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come experience the culture, we do it like no other. Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come seek the island's treasure. Welcome to Jamaica.
And I want to thank King Ryan, but I was only doing St. Thomas and Clarendon today. But yes, he sent me a snapshot. You have Bath Mineral Spring. You have Unique Mineral Spring. You have, let's see. Which one is this now? Yeah, they're okay. Thank you, King Ryan. Sure, you're doing your research, man. I can use you to help me find features for the show. 546. The show is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Have you ever heard of them? Yes, they're over here in the northeast Bronx. They're at Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Okay, so I'd like you to stop by, support them, and when you would walk in, say, hey, Lady D, send me. That should be enough. Yeah, Lord Jesus, yeah. 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. That's a wrap for what's inside the zone this evening, I thought I should just take you to the spa. I know that winter is really coming, and it really hasn't hit us yet, has it? It's been very mild. Today's so warm you wonder if we're still in the month of January. But tomorrow will be the final day, January 31. Who knows what's going to be around the corner for February? Let me check on my phone so I can bring you in the know about the weather. So let's see, Mount Vernon, New York. What I like with my phone, wherever I am, I don't have to search for it. It just comes up. So I'm in Mount Vernon. Right now it's a high of 54 degrees and it will be a low of 38 degrees. Okay. And for Tuesday, they say it will be a high of 43 and a low of 29 rather. Then on Wednesday, February 1, then we'll go back to, Wednesday it will be a high of 37 for you in Mount Vernon, a low of 25. So we have Friday, they say it's going to be windy. I see breeze blowing. It's going to be windy. We don't have any rain in the forecast for all of this week into next week. But, I tell you that I thought as a child they fooled me up and told me how much when rain would fall, that is God turn on pipe. And for a long time I thought that to be true. But that's what adults do. They fool up pick me, Hello, welcome to the show. It's 5:48 p.m. 5:48 p.m. I'd like to welcome everyone tuning in with me. Don't forget our telephone number is 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. Let's see what's going on here. They're having a conversation about the parishes. Chris Wilby's asking Shernette if she went to his parish. I didn't know you owned a parish, Chris Wilby. I just thought that's where you're born. I didn't know you own a parish. That's your parish after all. You have a parish. Talk about your parish. As you know, I was born in Kingston and then I went to Clarendon. And I talk about Clarendon all the time. I'd like to say hello to everyone who is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday wherever you are. Happy birthday to you. And yesterday was Chris's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, somebody. Happy birthday to you. And you're celebrating your wedding anniversary. Love is in the air. Yeah, man. So keep loving. Send all the roses you can and the wine you can. And even when you have disagreements, be respectful to each other, please. A baby was born somewhere in the world today. We welcome life. Yes, man. Everybody goo goo gagaing over baby and thing. And I'm praying for everybody to be safe, These are interesting times. Now, let me take you to some more music. As I mentioned, it's R&B Music Thursday. My name is Denise, Lady D Gomez, and it's a pleasure having you on the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city. We walk, drive, and reside. At 6 o'clock, it will be news. And at 6:30, I do have the segment Voices. This evening, I'm featuring on scammers who target women, and that we have to be careful no matter what, even on the dating apps that they have. They pop into your inbox in Facebook Messenger, in the Instagram, and everybody come up and they just say hi. The other day, one shared his whole life story. I just read and say, oh, really? Something he write. Oh, no, I don't pay him no mind, because that's me. I'm not going to get mixed up with all of you. I just pay attention. One of them, I wouldn't respond to him. He's like, aren't you going to talk? Oh, no, I'm silent. Because you know them. They're very persistent and you have to be careful. So welcome, everyone. How about some music? Taking you to one of my groups, one of my favorite groups. Brainbox Jackie, how was school today?
I try to sleep with the lights on every time the phone rings. I pray to God that I just can't believe that we're through. I miss you. There's no other way to say it, and I can't deny it. I miss you. It's so easy to see. I miss you and me. Is it done and over this time? Have we really changed our minds about each other's love? All the feelings that we used to share. I refuse to believe that you don't care. I miss you. There's no other way to say it, and I can't deny it. I miss you. It's so easy to see. I've got to gather my senses together. I've been through worse kinds of weather. If it's over now, be strong. I can't believe that you're gone. I got to carry on, but I miss you. It's driving me crazy. I don't want to live without you. I miss you. It's so easy to see. I miss you and me.
R&B Music Monday at 5:55 p.m. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. What are you all doing out there right now? If somebody were to call me and say, Lady D, I am doing, what is it that you're doing? Jackie, you're in the kitchen. Sherns, you are at work. King Ryan, you're home. I'm not sure what you're doing. Let's see. Vera, you home relaxing or you're in the kitchen? Eddie, what you're doing? You're always in the crib somewhere. MS, what are you doing? Surfing, browsing, trying to find information so you can provide stats, because that's what MS does. Who else now? Yam Lady. I'll be talking to Yam Lady. Yam Lady, she's always just coming in to catch a part of the show. You know, everybody have certain things, they're just certain unique features about our audience. Then you have Hortense, who she is a news guru. She gobbles up the news like nothing. And then when you miss something, she says, so then you did hear about, I'm like, no, I missed that one. And she shares the headline with us. So I'd like to say good evening. Then there is AG, who is in the bewildered department. Good evening, AG. I'm sure she's laughing. Oh, Lord. And so it's a good day. Last Saturday, we had a great show on Saturday morning runnings. Yes, man. And we spoke about who dropped the ball Our parents not doing what they were taught by their parents, some generational things that we hand down to children. A lot of us are not doing that anymore. And then we're going to have part 2 this coming weekend. And Donna Ferguson is going to join us and provide us with some great insights. So that's going to be good. It is 2 minutes and counting to 6 o'clock. Coming up in 2 minutes will be New Zone. And I'm looking forward to hearing your voices this afternoon as you participate with me by calling 914-600-4228. That is 914-600-4228. I'd like to hear from you. Okay, so Vera tells me that she's listening to me and preparing dinner. And okay, King Ryan says he's looking for something to eat and looking at me, of course. I'm on TV. Good evening. Jackie, I'm not alone. Alrighty, so welcome everyone. It's now time for the news, and it's a beautiful Monday. I can't get over how today is just mild in terms of the weather. Can't get over it, but we do have headlines that sometimes jolt us into reality, And you say, boy, in my neck of the woods, but nothing not happening. Other things are happening somewhere else. That's so devastating. You sometimes have to hold your head when you hear the headlines. Oh my God. But anyway, we are good. 1 minute and counting to 6 o'clock. So here we go. Don't forget to call me 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. Keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Out of Chicago, a prosecutor said Monday that she's dropping sex abuse charges against singer R. Kelly following federal convictions in 2 courts that ensure the disgraced R&B star will be locked up for decades. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox announced the decision a day ahead of a court hearing related to state charges accusing him of sexually abusing 4 people, 3 of whom were minors. Since Kelly was indicted in Cook County in 2019, federal juries in Chicago and New York have convicted him of a raft of crimes, including child pornography, enticement, racketeering, and sex trafficking related to allegations that he victimized women and girls. Kelly, born Robert Sylvester Kelly, is serving a 30-year prison sentence in the New York case and awaits sentencing on February 23 in Chicago federal court. He is appealing those convictions. Based on the New York sentence alone, the 56-year-old won't be eligible for release until he is around 80. Another sexual misconduct case is pending in Hennepin County, Minnesota, where the Grammy Award winner faces solicitation charges. That case, too, has been on hold while the federal case played out. Minnesota prosecutors haven't said whether they still intend to take Kelly to trial. Prosecutors sometimes choose to go ahead with more trials out of concern that convictions elsewhere could be reversed during appeals. They see an opportunity for additional convictions as insurance. Known for his smash hit, I Believe I Can Fly, and for sex-infused songs such as Bump and Grind, Kelly sold millions of albums even after allegations about his abuse of young girls began circulating publicly in the 1990s. He beat child pornography charges in Chicago in 2008 when a jury acquitted him. Widespread outrage over Kelly's sexual misconduct didn't emerge until the Me Too reckoning and the release of the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. After that series aired in early 2019, Fox pleaded with accusers to come forward so that prosecutors could pursue charges. She announced the Cook County indictment months before the federal cases in New York and Chicago. Fox's office alleged he repeatedly sought out girls for sex, including one he encountered at her 16th birthday party and another who met the R&B star while he was on trial in 2008. Federal prosecutors in New York told jurors at his 2021 trial that Kelly used his entourage of managers and aides to meet girls and keep them obedient, an operation that prosecutors said amounted to a criminal enterprise. Last year, prosecutors at Kelly's federal trial in Chicago portrayed him as a master manipulator who used his fame and wealth to reel in star-struck fans, some of them minors, to sexually abuse, then discard them, for accusers testified. While prosecutors in that case won convictions on 6 of the 13 counts against him in that case, the government lost the marquee count that Kelly and his then business manager successfully rigged his 2008 child pornography trial. In international news, U.S. officials believe drone attacks at a military plant in Iran's central city of Isfahan were carried out by Israel, according to U.S. media reports. Tehran said on Sunday that drones had attacked the plant in Isfahan late the previous evening, calling the operation unsuccessful. The Wall Street Journal and the New York Times reported that Israel was behind the attacks, citing U.S. officials and people familiar with the operation. The New York Times cited senior intelligence officials who were familiar with the dialogue between Israel and the United States about the incident. None of the officials were named. CNN has not independently confirmed that information. A U.S. Department of Defense spokesperson told CNN that the U.S. has not conducted strikes or operations inside Iran. Quote, "We've seen the press reports, but can confirm that no U.S. military forces have conducted strikes or operations inside Iran. We continue to monitor the situation, but have nothing further to provide," end quote, the spokesperson said. Iran's defense ministry has not publicly offered any information about who carried out the attack. The Israel Defense Forces declined comment. And we take you to regional news. Out of St. John's in Antigua. Less than 3 months after Antigua Airlines made its inaugural flight emanating from West Africa, the Antigua and Barbuda government has taken a decision to halt temporarily the chartered flights. On November 1 last year, the historic flight departed Lagos, Nigeria, with 100 passengers on board for the 12-hour journey. In October, the Gaston Brown government defended the decision to allow for Antigua Airways to operate flights from West Africa directly to the Caribbean island, saying the investors will be engaged in a wet lease, which means all that is required is to have the financial resources to lease not only the plane but all of the supporting personnel. But a statement issued following the weekly cabinet meeting, the first since the January 18 general election, the government said it took a decision to hold temporarily the chartered flights emanating from West Africa. Quote, "The rules governing the member countries of the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority, ECCAA, are very strict. Antigua Airways had not complied fully with all of them. The organizers have pledged to fix all the deficiencies before resuming their services across the Atlantic from the motherland," end quote, the cabinet statement said without elaborating. Information Minister Melford Nicholas said the government may have to repatriate visitors to West Africa amid media reports here that several African visitors are struggling to find accommodation and some claiming they are only in the country en route elsewhere. Quote, it is recognized that there are a number of persons who had come on earlier flights who are still in Antigua and may need to be returned to their respective jurisdictions. We will obviously have to arrange for an aircraft to arrive to take those persons who are here back home in the coming days and weeks, end quote, Nicholas told the post-cabinet news conference. The information minister went on to further explain the government's decision to suspend the charter flights. Quote, Antigua Airways, in order to establish the commercial viability of the route, arranged a few chartered flights, and that came with clamor. What had transpired since was that their efforts was imitated by another operator who would have arranged another charter outside of the knowledge of the government, end quote, Nicholas said. He said that some charter operators were using Antigua and Barbuda as a stepping stone, and therefore the government had to suspend the routes from Africa to Antigua, describing the situation an abuse of the government's intention. Quote, if that opportunity has now lent itself to abuse, we certainly have to do the responsible thing and to curtail the use of the chartered flights to be able to ensure that once we have established the routes properly, end quote, he said. It is 9 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to Keeping You in the Know with news, happenings, and facts. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. And in our Jamaican news, more than 30 sixth form students at York Castle High School in St. Anne can now legally get behind the wheel. On Friday, January 27, they passed the Island Traffic Authority's written road code test and will receive their learner's permit. Driver's education was added to the school's curriculum in 2014, but Friday was the first time the institution partnered with the Island Traffic Authority, the ITA, to have students sit the test. York Castle High School principal Raymond Treasure told the Jamaica Observer that the course was added because it is among the skills the school thinks is necessary. Quote, for me, driver education is something that all students at some point will want to engage in, so we decided to do it as a part of our formal curriculum, end quote, he said. The hope is that we will have drivers who know the road code and leave York Castle with comprehensive knowledge of the traffic regulations and driving skills, end quote, Treasure added. ITA Education and Information Officer Dante Matthews said his team was enthused to be a part of the innovative venture. Quote, when Mr. Treasure sent the proposal to our office, we immediately did a follow-up because it is a groundbreaking adventure. No school has ever reached out to us, so we met with Mr. Treasure and had meetings, and those meetings have resulted in what is happening here today. And we are proud that a school could include a skill such as this that will be useful in life, end quote, he said. Under the new Road Traffic Act, a road code test must be taken to be granted a provisional driver's license or learner's permit. Another test must be successfully completed within 6 months in order to obtain a driver's license. Quote, we hope that after 6 months, the students will be sitting the real exam to leave York Castle with their driver's license because we believe it is a critical skill that all citizens must be exposed to, end quote, Treasure said. DeAndre Green, who successfully completed the written test, believes the introduction of driver's education in schools is a step in the right direction. Quote, this driver education course is very beneficial to us as young people because it will help us to be more careful on the road since we are exposed to the rules of the road from a young age, end quote, she said. Overall, this is just excellent exposure for all of us moving into our adult years, and I hope our schools will see we here at York Castle have benefited and also allowed their students to do it, she added. During her address at the event, Member of Parliament for St. Anne North Weston, Crystal Lee, lauded your castle's high efforts. She said this program deserves to be successful and spread across Jamaica. As the Member of Parliament, I'm happy to be a part of this, and I will do whatever I can to push it, end quote, she promised. In more Jamaican news, the St. Catherine mother, whose baby was stolen from her home earlier this month and later found in St. James, said she's now having problems in getting her child back from the home where the infant is being kept. Kenesha Hamilton said that despite getting a letter from the St. Catherine's Children's Court on Wednesday, she was denied the chance to take her son home. Quote, I went to court and a DNA result proved that it's my baby, and I was given a letter to get back my child. Hamilton said, I took the letter to the home in St. James where my child is, but I was told that I cannot get the child. The 18-year-old said she was told that the baby will have to stay until February 8 for a court hearing in St. James. The case of baby Rashane Hall captured the public's attention barely 2 weeks into the new year. Reports are that at about 5 p.m. on January 10, a 15-year-old snatched the baby boy from his home in Horizon Park, St. Catherine, in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, and drove away with him in a waiting motor car. The matter was reported to the Spanish Town police, and an investigation launched. News of the stolen baby spread like wildfire, and photos of the toddler started to circulate on social media. A missing persons report was also sent out by the police. The investigation was expanded to Cambridge District in St. James, where the 3-month-old was found in the company of the teenager. The Star learned that shortly after 11:30 a.m. on January 11, a father and son of Copperwood in St. James saw the photo of the missing baby on social media and immediately related that they had seen the teenage girl with a child fitting his description. They conducted their own investigation and discovered that the child was Roshane. They reportedly brought the teen and the baby to the Cambridge police station, where they made a report. Investigators arrested and charged the teen with child stealing. She has made 2 court appearances and has been remanded in a place of safety. When the news broke that Roshane had been found, his grandfather was overjoyed. Quote, me just feel better. I'll eat me start ya know, because from the day of the abduction, me no eat no food or nothing. Me feel much better ya know. Just we forget the call from the police when the baby a come to St. Catherine, Hamilton told reporters on January 11. Jamaican track and field icon Usain Bolt pumped $6.5 million into the investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL) between 2012 and 2017, but almost as soon as the money was deposited, it was moved out without his knowledge. A Jamaica Observer probe has uncovered that Bolt invested $6.2 million in SSL in 2012 through a limited liability company named Wellgen, which is believed to be an amalgamation of the first names of his parents, Wellesley and Jennifer Bolt. Another $900,000 was added to Bolt's account by 2017, but $5.8 million was drawn from his account starting in 2012 through checks and cash. In addition, $90,000 was lodged in the account between 2019 and 2022 was quickly withdrawn. Quote, the money withdrawn would have included interest and dividend earned in addition to the nominal amount invested, end quote, said an Observer source on Sunday. The source provided the Observer with the portfolio holdings and liabilities statement bearing SSL's logo, allegedly sent to the Bolt team in September 2022, which showed fixed income of $3,714.58 million, equities of $7,406.06, and cash 918 and 1, and amounted to $12,047.65 million in the company. Lawyers representing Bolt had sent a letter to SSL demanding that $12,758,181.74 US, the reported balance in his account at October 31, 2022, be repaid by January 27. The attorneys also claimed that only $12,000 US remained in the account. When the ultimatum expired last Friday, one of Bolt's attorneys, Linton Gordon, told the Observer that they were in talks with the Financial Services Commission, FSC, which has taken control of SSL, and it would be inappropriate to make any further comments at the time. In the meantime, local investors have been joined by the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, as the probe continues into what is believed to be the biggest fraud at a registered Jamaican financial institution. The FBI late last week responded to questions from the Observer, confirming that it has joined the investigation, but there was not much more in its terse response. Among the issues which the investigators are probing are 10 transactions between July 2021 and May 2022, in which millions of dollars were taken from Bolt's account and transferred to a bearer to purportedly buy blue-chip stocks in American firms. Email authorizing the purchase of the stocks were purportedly sent by a previous member of Bolt's management team to the former SSL employee at the center of the investigation. But Observer sources say the email addresses from which the authorizations were sent was fabricated. Additionally, the former management team member has strongly denied authorizing the movement of funds from the Sprint Legends account. Bolt is one of at least 40 SSL clients whose investments were totally or almost wiped out in the fraud estimated to be more than $3 billion so far. The issue, which has attracted international attention primarily due to the fact that Bolt is a victim, has resulted in the FSC sending a temporary manager into the company for oversight of its operations. Additionally, a raft of reforms for the financial sector were announced last week by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who also cashiered the FSC's executive director and replaced him with the temporary manager, Kieron Burrell. Clark also replaced 4 members of the FSC board with Senior Bank of Jamaica BOJ executives, Governor Richard Biles, who is now chairman, Wayne Robinson, Jahida Lewis, and George Roper. Additionally, Clark told the country that in addition to the FBI, forensic auditors from overseas will assist local law enforcement agencies with probing the fraud. Late last Wednesday, Clark disclosed that the FSC was successful in obtaining a court order blocking the directors of SSL from winding up the company and liquidating assets. According to Clark, the members of SSL had applied to the company's Office of Jamaica for a member's voluntary winding up of the firm on January 16, 2023. The court order bars the trustee and directors of SSL from disposing of or dealing with assets and liabilities in SSL's name, withdrawing, transferring, or otherwise dissipating any funds from accounts in its name wherever held, winding up or dissolving the company, or reorganizing the company or its operations, whether in document form or organization of its members, assets, and liabilities. When Shireen received information last Saturday that her younger brother, ex-policeman and father of 4, Andrew Jr. Thomas, was shot and killed outside his home, she fell from a bucket and hit her head. Following the first unsubstantiated hearsay report, she called Thomas's phone 5 times, but sadly, to her nerves' end, there was no answer. Quote, "Stop tell lie pa my brother. Me talk to my brother today." End quote, she recalled telling her cousin, who had called saying she heard that Andrew was killed. She dismissed the possibility and then proceeded to call her brother to get the much-needed clarification. Quote, "Me ring him phone 2 times and didn't get him. Me ring him phone 3 times and didn't get him. Me ring him 4, 5 and didn't get him." End quote. She then called another cousin, who she asked to inquire because she was too weak. Quote, "When he called me back, him start bawl. He said, 'He's dead,' and I drop off my bucket and hit my head. I was frightened and in shock. I cried until I almost died. I was weak. My belly and my head start to hurt me. I never get news that tear me up like that. All know I still can't believe. I just want somebody to tell me that it's a lie." End quote, she told the Jamaica Observer. The ex-cop was killed outside his home in Seaforth, St. Thomas, on Saturday, January 21, sometime after 9 p.m. Reports said that Thomas, who had been assigned to the St. Andrew North Police Division, was heading inside his house when, upon reaching his gate, he was pounced upon by unknown assailants and shot multiple times. He was taken to Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. No motive has been established as yet, and the Seaforth police are investigating the matter. Residents told the Sunday Observer that his body remained on the roadway up until after 12 a.m. on Sunday, when undertakers arrived at the location. Thomas's sister Doreen, who is living overseas, said she was texting him up until 8:41 p.m. on Saturday and provided screenshots of text messages. Doreen said he was telling her about a vehicle he was planning to buy. As the family struggles to come to grips with reality, Shireen said her relationship with Thomas transcended that of a sibling relationship. Quote, "The relationship that I have with Andrew is tremendous. Me and Andrew and our sister, Doreen, have a relationship where nobody cannot compare. I am always there for him and everything he call me and tell me. Any problem him have, him call me. Sometimes I have dreams and I would say, 'Andrew, me dream that.' If I tell him carry me to Constant Spring to do any little thing, he will not tell me no. Him respect me. We have a strong relationship like a mother to a son." End quote, she told the Sunday Observer. "Andrew is the best. Andrew like joke, and anytime you're ready to cook or say food, he's ready to put up his money." End quote, she added, laughing. Thomas's niece, Moesha, told the Sunday Observer that the last time they spoke was a week before his death. She said Thomas had called to check up on her and ask how everything was going. Last Saturday, she woke up to the worst news she's ever heard in her life from her sister. She said, "Mommy just called and said Uncle Junior dead." I burst out in tears instantly and I couldn't stop crying. My spouse had to take me up off the floor. I have never felt so much pain in my life. I literally have a broken heart. I have lost a big part of me that I'll never get back, and I can't even begin to explain the hurt that me and my family are feeling, especially my mom," she related. And finally, it is now 6:27, and my final headline for this afternoon. The St. James Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a 19-year-old Noel Demetrius, who his 13-year-old sister allegedly stabbed during a dispute at their home in Irwin, St. James. Reports are that shortly after 9 a.m., the siblings were at home with other family members when an argument developed between them. The unemployed Demetrius reportedly started to beat his younger sister, who reached for a knife and allegedly inflicted a wound in the region of his chest. Demetrius was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 28 minutes after 6 o'clock. Good afternoon. You got a full 28 minutes of news read by yours truly, Lady D. Denise Gomez, in the feature keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts. The news. But news headlines are what has affected people's lives. It's the people who has had an effect on their lives that make the news anywhere in the world. And so I invite you to call me, 914-600-4228. And don't forget, I have the feature centered around the scamming of women and how we need to be careful. Welcome to the show. If you're just joining me, it is 29 minutes after 6 o'clock, 914-600-4228. Is there a headline that has piqued your interest? I invite you to call me. We can have the conversation. As a matter of fact, this is what we do. On a Monday, we talk with each other about the headlines as they appear in print and online. 914-600. That is true. Good evening to DL. DL, how are you? I wish you a wonderful evening today. Never mind, they'll remember. So let's go to the headlines. I can hear myself in the background. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please turn down. How are you, sir? Good evening. I can hear stuff going on in the background there.
Too nosy.
Don't with me. I can hear it. Could you please turn down? Thank you so much. Welcome to the segment. Greetings, dear. I see your note. Keep it moving. How do you do?
It's a sauce. It's a sauce. Anyway,
Yes.
something jump out at me regarding that this teaching of
Drivers, the students and driving?
yeah. What is a good idea? How much of them going to buy a car? They will better, huh?
You only get license because you want to buy a car?
Well, okay, no, but
Okay.
there's a form of identification. That's what you want to talk about. And here's my thing.
No,
Is it better
that's
off?
not what I want to talk about. I'm simply asking you a rhetorical question because there are people, as you know, who they will get a driver's license. They may not be able to drive a car now, but if you and I understand how things have evolved in Jamaica, there are parents who own cars who will allow their children to drive until they're able to get a car of their own. Also, if I may add before you continue, there are the necessity of having a driver's license if something happens in a household or anywhere and you need to assist somebody in terms of an emergency or so on, it becomes valid. You may go ahead.
Okay, be that as it may, the second part of my statement was they be better served than teach them civic conflict resolution and Marcus Garvey. They're better off.
Well, hi. While we know that is very important, but teaching them to drive is also a strategic way, I believe. I don't know if they have actually come out and said it, but you and I know, DL, that a lot of the mishaps that are happening on the roadway is one, either somebody bought a driver's license, two, they can't read, so they don't know roadside, road code, nothing.
But it wouldn't be nice school.
No, but I'm saying to you that the strategy, I believe, is that if you teach them now, one, They have to be able to read and comprehend and be able to do their permit. So then nobody can say they are providing driver's license to people coming out of school who can't read.
That is, again, as noble as that sounds, still wishful thinking because you know how things run in Jamaica. And my thing is, I don't think that's the wrong priority. My view.
No, me not beat your
Jamaica
view, but
is
you know we talk.
No. It's not about you. No, it's not about you. I'm not sure what for you. I'm the same. Especially, you know, I could say the same thing by talking about conflict resolution because you and I know what's going on down there.
Yes.
And maybe they teach them from that on those formative years how to deal with resolve conflict. That could serve them well as they in adulthood and as they go through life.
Yes. And I take your point. And, well, I know, and you and I know, that they do have guidance counselors in schools. Now, while the guidance counselors are in the school, sometimes the conflicts are not taken to them, right? You and I know that. It becomes a brawl. Something happens out in the schoolyard or wait until after school, and there is some fracas that take place and it results in something even fatal, because we have had students who have murdered each other. So yes, I take your point that it would be a good idea. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying I think
No.
it would be.
I'm not for one moment think you are.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to you, talk about guidance counselor. I mean, what exactly do they do? Is that like they're offering a curriculum course?
No, but at least if there is a conflict, you know, they oftentimes, well, in my high school when I was going to school, if there was something that was discovered, no knowledge, they would take the students into the guidance counselor, and that's where they would address it, and then they take it to parents, and the matter is taken care of.
Oh, I didn't know your school of guidance counselor was
Yeah.
FYI. Mine did not.
Oh, we did.
No, mine did not.
Oh.
Did you know that?
Yes, we had at Veer.
No such thing.
Okay. Yeah, at Veer Technical they had, and I'm of the view they still do. But I take your point. And you know, as they're trying to improve our education system, I know that they do have a lot of things on their agenda that they would like to roll out. Because I've heard the Minister of Education, Favour Williams herself, has identified some of the concerns you have had. But, I guess they're so strapped with a myriad of mess that they're cleaning up and trying to implement. Hopefully they'll get there. But I take your point.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I have a second caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
MS, what's doing?
There's another side to the story. If you have a driver's license, it projects your circumstances really, really quickly, because there are some jobs, if you have a driver's license, it gets you going right away.
Yes.
I have a daughter who's a plumber, and her job needs the skills, the driving skills to take her to the points where she has to work. So that goes a very far way in projecting your ability to find work. I used to work for the ice cream company in Jamaica.
Right.
I used to work for the ice cream company in Jamaica. Okay, and they needed drivers to drive their trucks to deliver ice cream. That was a big operation, both milk and ice cream. So if you have the driver's license at the starter point, you get the job, and the job's paid fairly well.
I don't believe that. I was a driver, that's a different thing, but not in Jamaica. It's not like America where the driver's license mean anything and give you any added points or scores. No, let's do that.
You may not believe it, but it works.
So in the event,
then in addition, my own daughter, she runs her own company. And she does two other businesses too.
Hold on, DL.
It's the United States. You're not talking about the United States.
So-
It's about Jamaica. That doesn't fly here. That doesn't make one difference.
I am talking about the skills that get you employed both in Jamaica and in the United States.
All right,
It's
so
workable both places.
hold on
Both
a
places.
second. Hold on a moment. Hold on.
Having a driver's license in Jamaica does make no difference and give you no extra to get a job.
What
It
I
doesn't.
do
Come
know.
on, man.
Hold on a moment.
Cut that nonsense talk out, man.
Hold on. So, here we are talking about a driver's license. Let's calm down here, because all right. Now, if at the end of the course, right, they're in high school, they get their permits, and now in 6 months they can go do license and all of that kind of stuff. When they leave, because you and I know there are companies that are seeking drivers. Half the time,
That's
why they have not
That's
employed any.
different.
Hold
The
on,
driver.
DL. Yes, but I'm just saying, if a company puts out an ad, drivers wanted. Sometimes the prospectives who show up, they can't hire them because one, they're not groomed, they can't read, they can't this, they can't that. So have them vehicles sitting on a lot hoping to get drivers. Now, if we are producing in the schools when they leave, we have put out a set of children who can say, fine, even before I get into the field I really want to get in, I can go look a driving job. They would be more credible people to hire.
I agree, but we're talking about.
I will give you one more story.
Hold on, we're talking about apples and oranges.
DL, why you sound so far away?
Really?
I
Yeah.
give you one more story. I have a brother who had a furniture store in Kingston. He had a furniture store in Kingston, and he wanted somebody to drive to deliver furniture. His son was out of school. His son was delivering furniture. So that was a big plus for the operation. So if you're going to tell me that it's not worthwhile, I have to
No,
turn my
that's-
back on
that's
that
not-
idea.
All right, hold on, MS.
never
DL,
said- oh,
so DL,
I
put the
never
pointer
said
across
that.
here now. What you saying?
I never said it's not worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
I said you are using an American approach for Jamaica.
It works both ways. It works.
Hold
it
on,
works in
MS.
Jamaica and it works in the United States.
MS, hold on.
Driver's license in Jamaica does nothing to help you to get a job unless the driver's license.
Oh, come on, man! Don't say that, man! Don't say that.
So
Don't say
DL,
that.
Hold on. When last have you ever been for an interview for a non-driving job in Jamaica and them ask you for a job and them ask you for a driver's license? When?
no, if it's
There are a lot more reasons. Lot more.
When has anybody in Jamaica gone for a job other than a driving job, they ask you for your driver's license? Never.
A driving job is just as valuable. Just as valuable.
I think we're talking about two different things.
No, we're talking about the same thing, because
Okay.
if you're able to drive, it gives if you're able to drive, it gives you a bit of prominence.
all right. So DL, what is your final thought?
I was going to say that's something different. My correct in hearing in saying that Antigua has an airline.
No. Yes, and they had started off by going into Africa, but then they had to pull that back. It's Antigua Airways.
Antigua. Little Antigua have an airways flying into Africa. Wow. And Jamaica have none.
Oh well,
There's
know.
an airline that flies from Nigeria to Jamaica. There
That's
is
not
one.
Jamaican airline. That's not a Jamaican airline.
No, but Jamaica is still being served by an African airline.
Yeah, but we don't have
that's also-
MS. We don't
that
have
is
our
also
own
a great
airline.
thing.
We don't have our own airline. That's what he's saying. We don't have our own airline
Yeah,
like we used to.
but there's still a service that connects Nigeria with
Yeah,
Jamaica.
and we
Still a
understand.
service.
Part of it.
We understand.
This is just
All right, I have a third caller.
Yeah,
Hold on,
you
MS.
could be
Hold
tired
on.
of the side there.
Hold
Yeah.
on, hold on. All righty. Who is my third caller? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, madam. How are you?
It's a good day, sir.
ridiculous.
Apparently, apparently we don't listen to what the school says a while ago. Education, gentlemen, education. It's not all about the driver's license. I can drive. Am I educated? It's education, sir. It's not about who is going to get a driving job tomorrow, who is going to drive for their mother and their father. Education, sir, and that's a big problem. If when we're not educated, a lot of us are ignorant to the laws, the bylaws, and the gadgets of the road.
Hold
Right,
on,
but
MS.
What about an
MS,
what
hold
about
on.
an individual
Hold on a
who
moment.
skilled that they need to drive?
MS, hold on. One thing I would like everybody, when they call the show, please allow each other to complete their thought, because it becomes a very chaotic situation here and it's very noisy. Finish what you were saying now, King.
It's about education. A lot of the ignorance down in Jamaica when it comes down to driving. If the people were held accountable and be more educated on how they overtake, undertake, I think things would be a little bit more better. It's a lot of ignorance. I get a driver's license, whether I buy it or how I get it, and away I go. I go and I get a car, and I'm going to run a robot taxi or whatever they do down there. And I'm out there with people's life, just like that. No education. I buy the license. I wasn't put in a classroom, understand how to maneuver the vehicle on the road, where to overtake, where not to overtake. Learn to taught how to respect the speed limit of the road. A lot of these people are not educated. So we gone way ahead of talking how we're going to drive for who and who's going to look at driver and require driver's license. Education, gentlemen. We need to be educated.
And so that is why your castle has adopted this, because they believe it is a very important thing.
I think it's a fabulous thing
idea
to start in Jamaica. Education. That's why a lot of us are so ignorant. And even if we come here, my little brother come here and all him tell my sister, he can't drive slow. He tell my sister he can't drive slow. If my sister drive him slow and go fall asleep. He tell my sister put him in a back seat and make him sleep.
Same, sir.
It's ignorance. We think we must down the speedometer. From a move from a gate, he must go straight over to 120 and if he stop. Ignorance, Papa. Ignorance. The school has never done anything better. Educate them. Whether me want to go get driver's license or not, me not glad tomorrow morning to go into that class. You not drive for nobody. I would like to be educated.
There you go.
And me know me not look a driving job tomorrow, and me know me not buy a car not cheap. People need to be educated, sir. We need to be educated.
Thank you, King.
Knowledge is power. Thank you.
Blessings. Alrighty, who do I still have on the line?
Good evening, Lady D.
All right, good evening. Yam lady.
How are you? Very interesting subject here, starting this deck. It's more than one, but let me tip in on a little on the driving, which I speak about several times in Jamaica. I think that's a fabulous idea because by then, they will more, know about the road, because a lot of people in Jamaica, they just go out and I learn you to drive because I can drive. You don't know the road codes. They overtake you when you're getting around a bend. Pom, 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 pom. And the precipice is over there. So if anybody that has been to Jamaica and really admire, just look how they drive. They have no knowledge of driving.
That's right, ma'am. I agree.
And that is my intake, which I spoke about several times on Linkage Radio there. And the other thing, Lady D, the 13-year-old that stabbed the other one, is it a boy or a girl?
The
do
girl
the
stabbed
stabbing.
the girl stabbed the boy.
This is what we're doing. This is what is really going on.
Well, all that happened here, is that they were having something happened, and so they got into a quarrel, an argument. It developed, and then Demetrius, who is the older one, he started to beat the younger sister. And so in the beating process, she decided to reach out for the knife and inflicted the wound in his chest. So I guess no.
Lady,
Oh Lord.
sorry. It is getting. I don't know. Because I always say this, and I would say this. Continue saying this. When America cough, we vomit out there, because it's like it's the same system. You're looking at the same thing here and there. We never used to. We need more intervention from the home setting. And I'm talking about the kids, because they live what they learn. 99% of them out there live what that's what. There is no guidance.
And
until there's no guidance, Lady D.
But even so,
it's not like when you and I were growing up.
I understand. And I will add that, fine. I remember growing up, sometimes me and my sister would fight. But it's not no fight that will cause me to take up any bottle or any weapon to hurt her. So it tells you that, things have changed so much. And the defense mechanism that comes to mind is to find something in retaliation and harm the next person. Now, I doubt when she stabbed him, she thought either it was intentional or it was in self-defense. But whatever it is, she reached out for that weapon.
Lady D,
and
she
hurt
could
him,
have run.
Kill him.
She could have run. You hit that point. We used to fight each other, but once we fight by night, we are good again. You understand? That's what even going to school, but it's a different.
Yes.
We're in a different time now, Lady D.
Yes, ma'am.
Be blessed.
Blessings to you. I have a third caller. Good afternoon.
And Lady D, that make my point.
Yes, sir.
That make my point about conflict resolution. That's those teenagers, they're in high school. You see? That's the point I'm making. They're not going to drive for now.
But even if they're not going to drive for now, and I get you, I hear, DL, that yes, these are the things that we need to include in our curricula. I get it. But I don't know if it is there at the moment. That's why I mentioned, about the guidance counselors, because I know there are schools that do have guidance counselors until they get to that junction.
Oh, by the way, when I went to my license in Jamaica, I had to study a road code. And it was donkey years ago. Here's what I think would be better for them to do.
Right.
And I think they have something like that already in Jamaica. The thing we have in America, because I looked at that everything in America, 4-hour class. And there are schools that also teach 4-hour class, college or maybe community college. That is what they need. So people who work on prepare their license or whether they want to drive right away or anything. What I'm saying, high school, I don't know about that. There are things that's more important that can teach them in high school.
Well, as we realize personally, our take, on the situation, our perspectives are different. I am all for it. I think it's a good idea. And I'm sure there are other schools that will be adopting.
What grade are they teaching it? At what grade are they teaching it?
Let me see if they had mentioned the grade. Let me see, 1 second. They did not mention the grade. No, sixth form. I'm sorry, sixth form.
Sixth form. Okay, so that's
and it's more than 30 of them. Yeah, so they're on their way out, pretty much.
Right, and sixth form is optional because everybody goes sixth form.
Right.
You see, so then again, there you go. Because again, not everybody go to sixth form. So the people who are sixth form will do it. My point.
Well, even so, I mean, you would still have a greater gamut of people who have received that education, that understanding of the
form
road.
is about Marcus Garvey. Whatever if the teacher sixth form is Marcus Garvey.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not saying that there are schools that are not teaching it. It may not be the general, across the general education system, but you do have some very, let's use the term, quote unquote, conscious kind of educators who are that inclined to teach about, the Marcus Garveys and so on, who may introduce that to their students. Let's take a third caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah, backing up what he said about not important again. As I said, number one, in Jamaica, I see a friend of mine, a cousin of mine. She just sent down there a while ago. Her cousin leave UWI and couldn't get a job. Couldn't land a job. Can't land a job. You have all the education in the world, master's degree. She sent her money to buy a car for him to go run robot on the road. But yet he has a master's degree, can't get a job, and he have to do something.
Right.
So there you go. He's going to need to be on the road now to run taxi to make a living.
Right.
Think about it. He has got no education pertaining to driving. He just go now, get a driver's license, and think he needs to be on the road. Education in all aspects. I come to America and I talk about, in America, they not teach first-hand, they not teach home economic, they not teach clothing and textile. Me learned that from there, Jamaica. We have to run a large enough for a big company with my clothing and textile background that I learned from my country. But if me did skip the class, I said, me not interested, me not go to tailor, me not need to do clothing and textile. When the people them send them expensive suit, when the people them send them expensive clothing to me take care of, me be ignorant, sir. I wouldn't have a clue on how to deal with these.
But DL, I hear you, King. But you and I went to a technical school.
Hold on, lady. Let me just suggest something Ryan said. Ryan, there's cool ear for that. Once you can't just go work in a laundry service, dry cleaning service in America, just that. You have to go get training. There's a place for that. Kudos to you that you got that back in Jamaica. And yes, they have trade training schools and in some technical schools. Yeah, Denise was going to say we both went to technical school. But again, there are limitations then.
But even if they are.
Let me say this to say that can I just walk in and all the training is going to be free? I'm talking about in my country, you get all these things free in my school, in my country. Most of them here, when they leave, these are adults, when they leave and they hard the supply, take them and they realize they need them, they're going to have to pay. I'm talking about me learning all of these things for free in my country and going to secondary school. If I wait until I become 40 years old and hardship with me and me see somebody go up in a laundry and me need a job. Sir, as I'm saying again, you see, education, sir, whenever you can get it and take it and put it down. You may not need it today. Me never know me guy need it until now.
That's what I'm saying.
And if them get it, if the young people are getting it, sir, I'm encourage all young people in Jamaica, take it. You never know. You never know, sir.
Ryan, I hear you, and I could never disagree with you. Say education is not important. That's not where we are. And it's not all young people can get it. Remember, our lady D said it's for six farmers. It's for six farmers. And
well, sir, they never done it in the country before. And look at the catastrophe. If you can educate one. If it's even one, guys come out and decide to now be ignorant from the road, it's gonna be good.
Ryan, civics is education, conflict resolution, especially in the context of Jamaica, is education. About Marcus Garvey's education, we go to school of Jamaica, all of us go to school of Jamaica, never heard about Marcus Garvey on the 50 cent money. And when you come to America, that's when I know about Marcus Garvey. Many people in New York here will tell you that.
Yeah, but
we
DL.
care less about Marcus Garvey.
Okay, I have 3 minutes. I love this spirited conversation, but I have 3 minutes to wrap up the show. What I will say is, that we will have differences in opinion. Whatever is introduced into a system that will make it work, then that's what they have done. So if these six formers, well, it's not a priority, but certainly I guarantee you that somebody in that group of over 30 persons will benefit down the road. Now, whether or not, again, I will not speak to the fact that maybe there isn't any lessons being taught on Marcus Garveyism. I cannot say that because I am sure there is some school with some teacher who is teaching the children about that. When you watch the junior level of the school's challenge quiz at the junior level, the questions that they're asking those children include some of things about Garvey and Nanny and Sham Shap, all of those. And they're giving you the answers.
They want to ask them from my ears, that's all.
Yeah, but how them are going to answer if they weren't taught in the first place? So that's why I'm saying we can look at.
I agree, but I'm saying we were taught about ears, but that's all.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, DL, that while your idea is valid, we cannot speak of it in the absolute. The ideal situation. We would like it to be. If the system has not been framed like that yet, then the more people talk is the more the system will hear.
All I can say.
1 minute to go. I have to go. I have to wrap up.
All I can say is there is no opportunity vast enough like New York or America. In my little country, everybody wants to run a robot taxi. No matter who, a lot of bright and intelligent people out there running robot taxi. They need to be educated about the road. Bottom line. And I rest my case. There's nothing wrong with that because we not have enough job I provide for them down there. And then family, the American, they got big to one robot taxi to go run with. You need to be educated. You need to be educated. And if you never learn, you need to go back to learning. No matter what kind of degree you say you have. You never educated about the road, you need to. And I rest my case.
Thank you all for tuning in this afternoon.
Okay.
All righty, thank you.
I continue to listen.
All right, we are ending the show. It has been interesting. It has been an interesting afternoon, but of course, this is why you have talk radio. And that allows everybody to share their opinion, and we can battle over it and still remain buddies. So thank you so much for tuning in and for participating. I appreciate it. And something, though I read 28 minutes of a news, I shared the headlines that I knew were important and that perhaps people would have missed and didn't know. So no worry about the 28 minutes. I am prepping myself to read news elsewhere. Blessings to everybody who joined in this afternoon. Don't forget the show is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. God willing, I'll be back on Thursday to do it all over again with Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. Thank you, everyone. Lots of love and blessings to you. Ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta.
Radio station.
They play the best music.
Number one. Best music.
New York, I introduce the best ice cream factory located